I want to welcome Scout Taylor-Compton to our panel today. So you guys have the questions. Penda, maybe you have a question. You're not a...
I just appreciate that you wore your Canadian tuxedo for your trip
Dude,
to Cornwall.
I just realized that, but this is like my actual like get up at home.
Okay.
It's like Levi's on Levi's, except for Lou's hat. But I'm also missing Stagecoach right now. I'm not going to use this. I have a loud voice. I'm missing Stagecoach, which do you guys know what that is? Stagecoach? Oh, it's a country festival. It's like a music festival, and that's this weekend. So
Okay.
Everyone knows you as playing Laurie, the sister of Michael Myers. What was that like with that role?
you know, it was amazing. I got the role when I was 17 years old. So when that got announced that I was playing Laurie Strode, I had no idea. I mean, I knew about Michael Myers because my uncle would scare me with the freaking mask when I was a child. So I knew that I was scared of whatever this guy was, but I had no idea what the Halloween franchise was. And so when I got announced and it hit the media and people just instantly started comparing me right away to Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, little girl, like I was terrified until I got, on set and Rob could tell that, I had read some of the not so nice things online before people had even seen what I'd done. And he's like, dude, I cast you for a reason, and I cast you because you made her exactly how I wanted to be, and you made her you.
And he had a lot of faith in you too. You went through this impressive, interview process. It was long, right?
Yeah, so...
But he knew that you were going to be the one.
I guess he said I was the first person that he saw on tape, and he's like, I want that girl. And the studio was the one who was like, oh, well, let's just see all these other girls. So I was the last person cast, and I had to go in, I think it was 6 or 7 times. I had to test with Danielle and Christina. They were already cast. And yeah, I remember getting it, and it just instantly, 2 days later, I was filming the movie. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Just moving a little bit, you were a part of the Gilmore Girls as well, eh?
Snap.
And you were the little sister to Sam from Supernatural, right?
Is that his character name on that? Yeah, Jared. Yeah.
Padalecki, right?
Yeah, he's great. I was very smitten at that age. I was like,
no
you're
kidding
gorgeous.
With his long hair.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I did 3 years of that. I mean, to be a part of such iconic shows, Gilmore Girls, I did Charmed as well. I mean, it's just such.
You've done a little singing as well.
Oh yeah, let's skip over that.
But Rob Zombie, he actually gave you some tips on how.
I didn't. This is another funny thing. I didn't know who Rob Zombie was.
What?
I had no idea. I was 17. I was 17. I think I was into Avril Lavigne or whatever at that point. But after Rob, there was one day on set. Rob's when you first meet him, you're like, oh my God, look at this guy, But he's the sweetest dude you'll ever meet. And he came over to me. He was so shy. He comes over to me, and he's like, so I know that you don't listen to my music. And he literally pulled out all his music from White Zombie and everything and just gave them to me. And since then, I was I started listening to all that kind of music, and my wardrobe changed.
Did you ever meet his wife?
Oh yeah,
Sherry?
yeah. Sherry was there all the time. I worked with her very closely on the second one.
Oh yeah, obviously with Halloween.
Yeah, just watching them together, they're this cutest couple you will ever see in your life, honestly.
And she's so versatile as well. Eh?
Yeah.
She plays that badass.
Yeah.
In Devil's Rejects.
It's really good that you have a partnership like that, and you can actually create together. And they figured it out, and it works for them. And I would love to have that one day.
Well, let me ask you on this side, is that Rob Zombie kind of became this quintessential director in the horror movie game. Was it kind of, what was going through your mind when Rob Zombie told you he wanted to cast you? You were his number one pick. Where were you at on all of that?
I mean, I was a 17-year-old, you know, my mindset was, I just was having fun being in this playground on this set. And I don't know why, my dad's a mortician. Do you guys know what that is?
I read
so
that.
it's like, I grew up in a mortuary, I grew up around dead bodies, I grew up like seeing this stuff. And like, you know, I knew how to embalm and all that stuff when I was like your age, you know? So it was like, it was second nature. Like, so when I was going on set and they were doing all the cuts and stuff, and I was like, oh, that shit looks fake. You know, I'm like, oh, this is how you make like stuff. So I was like, kind of like into it, you know? Because being around the real thing, it just didn't really scare me. So it was literally a playground. Like, I was just like having a ball.
Was there ever a day like on set where you still got scared though? Anything that really scared the heck out of you?
Yeah, everybody always asks me that, but no, nothing really scared me except the first day where I almost killed Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
All like almost, but he almost killed me as well. We did the scene in the first one where he brings me down and Christina's body's there and I'm trying to talk to him and he's just like kind of like kneeling there and I see his knife and I go in to like lunge him.
Yep.
Well, this is my first time working with knives and like retractable knives, fake knives and anything. And I'm just like, oh, you want me to okay, cool. Yeah, I got it. Roll. Like, let's do it. No one told me, oh no, we got to switch out the knife and like this one you won't do, this one you know, they just assumed like I knew and no, I didn't. So luckily he had like this cardboard on his shoulder and I pretty much was like really wimpy back then. But I like went in and with the real knife and like hit his where I was supposed to hit. And he was like, his eyes just went poof. It was like, God! Like it was a real knife. So I was really, oh, sorry, is it you on it? Okay. I feel so awkward when I'm talking these things. So it was like a real knife that I accidentally almost killed him. But continuing that day and continuing that scene where I run up the stairs and I go towards like the pool. So those were built-in stairs. So up at the top, we were on a stage. Up at the top is just a big drop. And so I continued the scene. I ran up the stairs and I opened up the door and there's nowhere for me to go. So I was like, I'll close the door and I'll just sit here. And then I hear the smashing and like Tyler like, ugh, like hitting all this stuff. And then I hear one of our ADs and he's like, keep going. And so his big feet are coming up the stairs. And I'm like, what do you mean fucking keep going? I'm like, where are you going to go? So he like swings it open and I go flying. And luckily he caught me.
Like with one hand?
With one hand. Caught me. And I'm just dangling off the side of this thing. And after that was the last scene of the day. And Rob was like, okay, we're going to make sure tomorrow goes better.
We'll do all the light scenes tomorrow.
He's a pretty easygoing guy.
Yeah, he's really rad.
What about Lita Ford playing Lita Ford in Runaways?
You know, that was it's these movies that I really, really wanted. I mean, the Runaways, I originally had auditioned for Joan Jett.
Right.
And then I auditioned because I played drums. Then I auditioned for the drummer, and they passed. They were like, oh, well, we just don't know if you fit into this. And I remember I wrote a letter, and I was just like, no, I need to be in this. I was like, this is like completely me. And so I wrote a letter. Then they're like, okay, well, we'll have you come meet Kristen Stewart. Yeah. And I went in, and instantly we just were like, we're like best buds. And so they were like, okay, well, do you know how to play bass? And I was like, no, I don't, but I'll learn it. So I went into band practice with the other girls. I was the bass player. And then Joan was there every day on set. And we were just like goofing off. And I was playing some guitar. And I just like kind of went really crazy. And I was like whipping my hair. And Joan was like, you play like Lita Ford.
Right.
And she literally offered me this spot like right then and there. She's like, do you want to play Lita Ford? And I was like, sure. So then I had to learn like all the guitar in like a week. It was like crazy, but it was fun. It was a blast.
Hey folks, if you have any questions you want to ask.
Oh yeah, guys,
Yeah,
anything. Anything your little heart's desire.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Well, I was going to go there just about the Runaways, about playing Lita Ford. Why were you into that type of her music?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I especially right after Rob, you know, that's like when I started to get into like all the rock and roll and kind of stuff like that. And I mean, I instantly started playing drums at 18. So just to play that and like have, you know, drum like practice and then go on set and play live music, and then off of set you have to go rehearse with the girls. It kind of felt like a band, and then it felt like the band broke up after the movie was done. We're like, oh well, we don't get to see each other as much anymore. But I actually met Lita Ford. She contacted my people and she invited me to her show, and now me and Lita are like the closest I am with any of them. Yeah. But that was definitely one of my favorite journeys for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Any other ones, guys? Yes.
Yes. I want to know, do you have any pressure to play with Daniel Harris, who already a star in your own franchise?
You know, I didn't really feel any pressure because she was so sweet and so caring, and she kind of took me under her wing with the first one because she had already gone through all of this like stardom with it, and so she kind of gave me a lot of advice, and she became kind of like an older sister to me. We got really, really close during the first one, and the second one was, I mean, it was like we were like raised together, you know. But yeah, no, I didn't feel any pressure. That's the thing, is like Rob made it very warm and welcoming on set that I just didn't feel like nervous or anything, you know, what you normally would feel. I think I was more nervous about meeting the fans than anything, but that's because I was raised going to these things, you know. Like I would come to the Comic-Cons and conventions all the time and like get autographs and stuff like that. So I think that's what I was a little bit more nervous about. But it's been very warm and yeah, I'm very.
The movie Feral, I don't know how many people watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that genre. I actually got my wife into it.
Yes, in front of you
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So what was it like working with Lou? Like on Feral and
Not Halloween.
Halloween.
Lou is amazing. Lou is like such a good energy. I mean, I'm sure everyone in this room has met Lou. I mean, he's like, God, he's so cool. But working with Lou, I mean, we definitely had two different styles. Lou's definitely, I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I'm just like fucking crazy, but hi. I see you back there. But I can go in and out. I'm such a kid. I am the biggest kid you will ever meet in your entire life. That I could be crying and then be happy and making jokes and like dancing around set.
Yeah, right,
That's just how I work. I think it's so I don't get like stuck in this emotional rut, because that's really hard. Some people like Lou, and I've observed Malcolm McDowell's kind of the same too. They have to really like stay in it kind of thing.
Yes.
And I find that so cool, but I'm just not that type of actor. But it's cool watching Lou work. It really is.
Like even in Feral, what was it like to make that movie? You're out in the wilderness, you're hiking. And
We were at Disney Ranch.
Oh, okay, reveal all this stuff.
I mean, we filmed. I filmed a couple Hallmark movies at Disney Ranch, actually using that cottage.
Right.
Yeah, I did like these Hallmark like Christian movies, and where I played a doctor. My name is Belinda. But yeah, so it's that. I mean, I've filmed so many times at the Disney Ranch there. They have a great setup.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Yeah.
So back to Halloween, you mentioned that growing up you hadn't watched, the original franchise. When you got the role, did you power watch them? And is your character on Jamie Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis at all, or did you just make it your own?
Yeah, I did it. That was like one thing that Rob, I think, kind of liked, that I didn't want to go watch all of them. I mean, I did after, like maybe, when I was doing the second one, I watched it, but I just didn't want to get that stuck in my head or anything. I just kind of wanted to be who I saw her, But I mean, there's some similarities between me and Jamie in the first one, especially, not the second one. The second one, I mean. But I think that's what we wanted to show in the second one, was the difference of someone going through trauma. But yeah, it's interesting because I would have made her completely different if I watched the first one. You know, I probably would have gotten in my head. But also too, there's as much as myself and Laurie in the first one, there's a lot of Rob. You know, like the bagel, like that was something that Rob just was like, and hopefully you did not see that. But when Rob, like, you know, we were doing the scene with Dee and my dad, and Rob was just like, can you just like try something for me? And then when he told me to do that with the bagel, I was like, who the heck does that? But I was like, all right, dude, like, let's just try it. So there's a lot of like little things that are like Rob and like me, and like, I don't know, it's cool to see now.
Awesome.
I mean, at 17, you'd be like, yeah, okay, dude, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, when you're young,
Yeah.
everything is, you're open to everything.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? Yes.
What was the atmosphere like on the set of Daryl?
Ooh, you know, that was an indie movie. It's so much different doing a big budget rather than doing like something indie. That one was kind of, I mean, all those kids that were in it were like my friends. I pretty much cast the movie. I was like, oh, I know exactly you could be this, and this, and this. But it was much more small. So it was kind of like we were kids hanging out at high school. It was really interesting. But it was a lot of fun. But it was like, find your location, film it. Okay, we're going to get kicked out. Go find your other location and film it. Rather than like big budget where you can like stay there for like months and months, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Did you like it?
I didn't actually finish it. I was watching it last
Oh,
night.
cool.
Like, passing out a little bit, so.
I mean, I just like Alice. I just like, she's like strong, you know? And I've been wanting to play that because I play a lot of vulnerable characters. So it was really cool to just play like a girl that was like in control and like in control of the situation. So that was cool. Yes.
When you started becoming an actress, was there any hesitation you?
You know, I started when I was 9. I went to one of those events where you get scammed. So me and my parents got scammed out of like $5,000 or something. But you got to meet, I think I got to meet Mario Lopez, and that was why I wanted to go. I was like, good to meet Mario Lopez. Yeah, let's go. And then they did like all these little like workshops and stuff, and it was like playing like pretend. I was like, oh, cool. I'll play house. Oh, I'll play superheroes. Oh yeah, I'll do this. I'll play scared. I'll be, you know, I was like having a lot of fun. So, and then there was agents there, and I just got picked. It was like somebody just took a claw and was like, all right, here we go. You know, and then I instantly started working on Jay Leno. And I started doing skits with Jay where I would do like Temptation Island Barbie or do like really weird things. But it was just like playing house. I teach an acting class to kids in LA, and I teach online. And I just think it's so cool to get like kids' imaginations just like built up, you know? It's like I said, like I use that phrase, a playground. It really is. If you're having fun and you're just using your imagination, I mean, like, the amazing stuff that comes out of that is so fun. I mean, it's way better than going to school.
There's something for you to aspire to.
You want to be an actor? Yeah, girl, you can be an actor. I could see you like the Goonies, like something. That'd be really cool. Girl Goonies. Yes.
Can you tell us why Halloween 3 never happened? Because in the second one, the ending is so perfect about the third one.
Yeah, the third one, so I got a call from the Weinsteins that we were going to do a third one, but they said, we don't have a script, we don't really know our director that we want, but we're going to be shooting in a month, and Rob is not going to be a part of it. Rob didn't want to be a part of the second one, but he was contracted, I believe. And then he really didn't want to do the third one. Weinstein didn't let him be creative and had a lot of say, and they were really hard to work with, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, so it was gonna happen, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because to do it without Rob would have been so awful. But I mean, it's like 50-50 because I really wish I could have like done a third one for just to play Laurie again. Would have been so awesome. But things happen for a reason, and it didn't happen. But there were talks. I mean, there was like so much going on the internet. I was like looking at the internet. I'm like, oh, that's the director. Oh, that's not the director. Okay, who's the director? It's like, let's figure this out. But I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. But I am glad that I got to do 2 movies. So that's
Is that
good.
a great characteristic of a director too? Allowing you to use your imagination.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good on improv and whatever. Like if I had a suggestion or if I wanted to do something, he was really cool at letting me. Letting me do that. I remember on the first set, I turned 18, and we had my birthday on the set, and I remember they gave me like this big old cake, and they put those candles where you like blow and blow, and they do not like go out, and I'm like dumb as rocks, and I was like, what's going on? And I finally, like, everyone's laughing, and I remember I grabbed the cake and I just charged Rob and I just like threw it in his face. It was fun. That was a good time. So he's a playground. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any horror franchises you'd like to be in?
Ooh, so many. Do you know I had no idea that Brad Dourif was the voice of Chucky?
Oh,
The
yes.
entire time that I was filming these movies? That's my guy, is Chucky.
Even his daughter's in.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. He's amazing.
My goal, and I kind of I'm now working on directing and writing, and I'm selling a show right now, so look out for that, guys. It'll be up this alley. And I'm about to do my first short and direct it. But I kind of want to do like a Resident Evil like kind of vibe. Like I want to be a badass. I love stunts. Like every time I get to do stunts, it's like my thing. I love to do that. Strong character, strong female. Like that's what I want to do. But honestly, I just love the horror community. I'll be in anything. I love them. They're fun.
So sorry, you said that you've got a show coming out. You want to give us a little more detail?
I can't. I mean, it's in the works, and it's gonna happen, and it's gonna go, and it's just it's very close to home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, won't say any more.
Can you say what genres? Is it horror?
It's gonna be like a dark comedy. Yeah, but it's definitely has some horror stuff. Yeah, it's cool. It's really rad.
So your genre is
But I'm not
horror.
going to be in it. I'm just
favorite
creating it.
genre? Like,
What's
what do
my
you-
favorite?
What do you love watching?
Horror.
Really?
I mean, I do. I really do. Or like if like you want to watch The Notebook. I love The Notebook.
Oh yeah.
Or like the little Disney movies. Okay, that's another.
Yeah,
I like Disney
Ryan
movies.
Gosling's from Cornwall.
I'm like, what? I had no
Yes.
idea.
I remember.
Wait,
when
what house? What street? Let's go.
I remember when he came. We were on location,
Uh-huh.
a radio station, opening up a store, and he comes up to me, and he says, "I'm going to be part of the Mickey Mouse Club." I said, "Okay, kid, that's great."
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I know he's done well.
Is that big here? Like shows and stuff like that for kids? See?
Yeah, see,
That's amazing. That's great. I had no idea.
yeah.
I mean, I love him. He's married though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eva
I
Mendes.
just, oh yeah.
He
Back
sneaks
away.
in every so often to see his father. His father lives.
Really?
In yeah.
Where
So he
is this
sneaks-
house?
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, I've talked to him a
Tom.
few times about.
Good old
Ryan.
Tom. Oh my god.
Anyway, let's get back to you.
Yeah.
Any other
We got a
questions?
question right over
No,
here.
right, guys, like, yeah.
What is your favorite horror movie?
What's my favorite horror movie? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I really don't know why, but I really love May. Has anyone seen May?
Yes.
It's an
Yes.
indie horror movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's so good. May's really good, but I also like The Exorcist. I mean, obviously, that's just like so badass. But then I love Chucky, man. I have a softie
Brad
for
Dourif.
Chucky. Or the original Freddy, Johnny Depp. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
my God.
That was good.
My son told me he reminds me, he says, when I was a little kid, you watched me. You made me watch
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
See, my parents never made me watch any of that stuff, but it didn't bother me.
Right. Because
I mean, when you have
grew
like
up-
a coffin right next to you, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's put it on.
Exactly. No,
I mean, that was like my thing. It's like my dad was also a mortician, but he's also a coroner and bishop. So all his files were in his. So I would like to like look at the files. I'm like, what happened? I was like, why? Why did they do it? What happened? Where did they go? What, like, you know?
You were made for this.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of genre.
obviously.
Anything? Oh,
Yeah.
So you know your father, since he was like a mortician, was he into horror?
He wasn't. My dad's like the funniest dude you'll ever meet in your entire life. That's what's so weird. It's like if you go to a mortician convention, they're all like cracking jokes. They're like, ah! I'm like, how are you guys all so happy? And like, you know, that my dad wanted me to, at one point, he was like, well, maybe you should do the family business. I'm like, nah, dude, I do not. I can't. My thing is like, I'm a Pisces. I'm like emotional. So it's like if someone else is crying, I'm like, I'm crying. You're crying, I'm crying. We're all crying. I like being with the families and all that stuff. That was hard. But like you need like a heart and like a personality for that.
what about The Walking Dead? We haven't talked about that.
I'm not on that.
Yeah, that was
That's Lou.
coming up next.
Yeah, Lou. Well, this is a promo for
But you guys should stick around for Lou's episode 230.
Next. The secret's out. I would love to be on that. I mean, I know Norman. I know everybody. Like so many people on that, but they only cast out of Atlanta.
Right.
Ooh, maybe. But it's such a good show. I mean, imagine a show that you wake up and you just are dirty. See, I like that. I like that. I like camping. I like Burning Man. I'm like, all right, let's go.
You like go sleep away.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm not high maintenance at all. I could live in like an RV and I'd be fine.
Wow.
Well, let's ask because you know what you obviously, and I don't want to throw this term around. I don't know if it's like the wrong term to use. Scream
Be
queen
careful. Oh.
shows up on Wikipedia a lot.
Oh,
Is that a term you've kind of come to embrace in all of this?
dude, I love that. I
Okay.
mean, I kind of like my scream.
Okay.
I didn't realize
Can we do a quick one?
Oh
right
my
now?
god, really?
Let's hear it.
I haven't done. I haven't
What?
done one in forever.
I guess you have to really get into it.
Not really. Okay, you want like a terrified one? You want like a big one, or what do you want?
Surprise us.
Okay, wait, ready?
Oh my God, my eardrum.
I tried not to do it with the microphone.
When you have to do a crying scene,
Yeah.
say for instance you're crying, I've always wondered, do you have props for that to make you your tear ducts, or
No,
do
I
you
mean,
train yourself to?
like I said, I'm emotional.
Right.
I'm an emotional
So you get
being.
into
So
it.
it's like I mean, even like
That's the
sitting
point
me
of
right
tears.
now, if I was to like talk about like something like really sad, I would get really sad. It's like, yeah, you just like get into it, you know? But also too, I think what helps me is that I'm able to get out of it really fast. So I don't stay in that. I think the only time that I ever did stay in that and I had to like get out of there was in the second one was with Danielle.
Right.
Because we got so close and she was like a sister to me, and literally they didn't let me see her until I went in that room, and I just couldn't stop crying. I mean, she like died in my arms the first time. Just like talking about it right now, it gets me emotional, but like I had to like walk out of the house. I was shaking. It was awful. It was so sad to see that. It was kind of traumatizing a little bit. But then she got up and she was like, what? I was like, put on some clothes. Go get dressed. What are you doing?
Oh, funny.
But yeah.
What about the theme song for the film Chicken Night?
Oh my God. What are you, but nobody's seen that.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about
That
it.
was when I was her age.
Oh, yeah. What was that like?
I mean, it's cool. That was like my very first short film that I did. You
Right.
know, that was like that was it. That was the job.
Debut
Yeah.
for you?
And I got to work with Ione Sky. Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, I was playing myself. I was like a tomboy. I was like skipping rocks and like kicking boys. I was like, that was pretty much me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what did you think about the last Halloween film? The one from the Carpenter universe.
The one that just came out?
Yeah.
You know, I watched it. I thought Jamie was amazing. I really loved like how powerful she was and how prepared she was, you know, for him to come back. I thought that was so cool. I didn't really like how the ending. I was I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think like because I picture myself with Tyler, and Tyler's just like a dude that I would never want to fucking like go against, you know? And so that was kind of like missing for me, and how the three girls like took over him so easily. I just was kind of like a little thrown off, but I thought Jamie Lee, I thought like all her stuff was so cool. I was like, of course she's a badass like woman, like prepped and like a little cuckoo. I was like, of course she is, you know, and her whole family's like, okay, Mom, all right, we realize you did this, you know? But I thought it was cool. I think some of the kills could have been cooler, but some of the shots were rad. Like, you know, go back to the John Carpenter. You know, it was really cool. Yeah, but I liked it. I got really into detail there, didn't I?
Any other? Oh, yeah.
Any actors or directors that you haven't worked with yet that you'd like to?
Oh man, I'm so jealous that Lou got to work with Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
You know, I would love to. I think we would just, me and Quentin, I think we'd vibe. I would love to work with him. I love, like, when I direct, I want visually, him and Rob Zombie had a baby. I would love my shit to look like that. Like, that's what I want. A Mad Max or that in there. You know, like, I just want that. Also, you know, Steven Spielberg, obviously, would be amazing. I used to want to work with Michael Bay, but I'm okay.
Not a Transformers fan, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I am, but I'm like, what he stands for, I'm not really backing. But I think director that wise, but actors, I would love to work with Tom Hanks. Dude, like, just think of how many iconic, like, people, like, Tom Hanks has portrayed. I mean, like, he's a solid actor. And then I have a big old crush on Liam Neeson, so I'd love to work with him too.
Oh, geez, my wife is saying.
Freaking love him, and he's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he just like does the same thing over and over and over and over. But what he does is.
Oh man.
Awesome. Anything else?
Is there anything that inspired you in actor, or has it always been a passion for you?
There was nothing. I think I just like, I played house all the time. I mean, being in a mortuary, growing up in that atmosphere, I didn't have a lot of friends. Wonder why?
No.
Oh, dude, I was like, I didn't have any friends. It was crazy. All my friends were people on set. All my friends were adults, the directors and the crew guys and all that stuff. You know, I barely worked with kids. So I was like, I was an old soul. And I think that's why I loved it. It was like I got to go hang out. I was like, oh, who are we going to go hang out and play with now? You know, because I didn't really have that at home.
So what?
It's like, Bob is dead. You can't go play with Bob. But I did have my coffin, Willie. He's my
Willie
best friend. Oh, I love that coffin. I kept all my stuff in that coffin. All my knickknacks are on the bottom of it. But it was for sale. But that was my coffin.
The dark side of Scott.
I know. It's pretty weird.
You worked alongside Dakota Fanning.
Yeah. She was in. So I've known Dakota. We've had the same agent. Well, we did, Cindy Osbrink. So I knew Dakota when she was really, really young. So when we finally got to work together, and she was not so young, and then she had to put on that outfit. She knew that it bothered, like, I was like, you're like a little girl. She'd be like, hi, Scout. I'm like, Dakota. I'm like, no, you're still like a little baby. It's so crazy watching these little ones get older.
Right.
Oh, God, I used to take care of these little babies that were like, you know, sleep in my bed, and like now they're like having girlfriends and like graduating high school. It's nuts. I'm 30, y'all. I just turned 30.
Young.
I know. Thank God.
Well,
thank you.
This guy over here, what are you, 23?
You're a fetus.
We're working on it. I'm working on getting older at this point.
Yeah. Work harder. No, I heard 30s are the years. Yeah.
Don't grow up too fast.
I hope so. I already feel
I'm
like
double
I
your
did.
age,
It's
and
crazy.
It goes fast.
I'm like, where did my 20s go?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. I was like, oh, I want to
Do
be
you ever
18. I want to be
panic
21.
about that as well?
Of age?
Like, oh my God, I'm 30. Oh,
Yeah.
I got to get everything done. Or is it like, oh, I'm going to
See,
be
you
cool
know,
about it?
my dilemma right now is I'm 30, but I don't look 30.
That's right. you look-
So, but I'm also too much of an old soul to play a 20-year-old. So I'm hitting that dilemma right now with like finding my sweet spot in this industry right now.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
it's like, I can't play a cop.
But there's
Do I
got to
look
be
like
an
a 30-year-old
end
cop?
game. There's
Or
got
like
to
a
be an end
30-year-old that's
game.
going through
What's
midlife
your end
crisis.
game?
I'm honestly, now that I'm creating and I'm writing and then doing all this stuff, I've kind of like a lot of my focus right now is this series that I created,
Right.
getting that going, and maybe seeing, because I have like all these other ideas for series and stuff, and it's kind of going back to like adolescence and to like how the Goonies was, how like
yeah.
Stand By Me was, like that's like what I want to, like that's why I like Stranger Things, like that whole aspect. It's like I want to see like 90s, 80s, I want to see like that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of working towards that direction, but and to you know be in some sort of franchise like a Resident Evil kind of thing would be really cool, badass thing.
Well, let's talk about the transition from adjusting from going from in front of the camera to behind it. You know, was there any moment where it was like kind of difficult to give up that leading kind of role?
You know, I haven't given it up.
Okay.
You know, so that's I still am very, very, very passionate about acting, but the world of acting has changed a lot, and there are so many actors now, like from everywhere. So it's like you kind of have to like do another thing, you know, and that's why I started working with kids, and like it's just like I still love this industry, but it's like finding your platform and your voice and maybe creating projects so you can be that lead. You know, it's a tough business, like any business.
I was
It's
just going to
tough.
say, what a tough business, and
It
how
is.
do you get ahead on that for kids? You know, young aspiring
Yeah.
actresses or actors. How
I
do you-
mean, honestly, like the one advice that I could give for little ones, and this is what I teach in my class too, it's like I'm constantly having them create their own stuff, write their own stuff, film their own stuff, use their own ideas, because no one's going to know any better than you. And I
Right.
guarantee you, someone will catch on and love it. You know, it's just like you keep that going, that mindset. And
You
I
see
wish
that-
I had that as a kid. I didn't have that.
You see
It's like,
that
give me a
American
script.
Idol was the same thing.
Yeah.
Who were the ones that won the competition?
Yeah, you know, but
Uniqueness.
you watch those shows, a lot of the people that like win, I'm
Yeah.
like, I liked like the one that you X like 6 weeks ago, you
Right.
know? So it's just like everyone has their own taste.
Right.
You know, so I just don't give up. Like, what is it, Casey something, she's like a country singer. She's been going forever, and she finally just made it. Or Pen 15. Have you guys seen that on Netflix? I mean, Harry Potter. Like that took like how many people said no to that? Twilight. How many people said? You know, it's like a lot of people said no to a lot of these things.
You
I
think
was
the
even
audience-
talking to the Degrassi guys, and
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh yeah, we didn't think this was going to be anything," but it just
Do
like
you think the audience is finicky that way, or
no. I think that's why it's kind of nice that we have all these independent features now being
Right.
able to be played on Netflix and Hulu and be able to get out there. I mean, you know how many indie movies I've done with people that I've never like worked before, but I like read the script and I'm like, I'll go do that for you for nothing. Like, let's go do this. Like, let's make your dream like happen. It's not going to happen unless you do it.
so you're helping people
Yeah.
as you're doing it.
Because
You're
people
also,
have helped me, and
Mhm.
I will continue to help, and they'll continue to help. You know, it's just like we all gotta like just help each other
right.
and believe in what we believe in.
hmm
Yeah.
What's it like being an actress too? Like the fans coming to you, is it tiring or? I don't know.
I probably tire them out.
Really?
I'm like,
Well, I found out with you when I came over and I said I'm such a huge fan
yeah.
of the horror genre. I saw you in Feral. I said, and I started saying, She must think I'm crazy.
No, I think it's cool. Well, it's because I'm a fan. We're all fans of whatever it is that we are fans of. You know, I would if I Patrick Swayze, rest his soul, was right there, I'd be like, I love you. Like, I really love you. I want you to sign this and this for me and maybe marry me. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I get it.
What
Like
about those classic
Brad
actors?
Dourif, like I said,
Brad,
I didn't know Brad was Chucky until the second premiere. I brought my things
He plays a
and
great
I had him
character.
sign them.
Right.
We're all fans.
That's right.
You know?
Right. And I've seen his daughter in a few
Yeah.
of those horror classics
Yeah,
as well.
it's
So
cool.
she's seeing the light through that horror
Yeah.
genre as well.
Yeah, my parents don't like. They're like, why are you in horror? I'm like,
My
I
parents
like
the
it.
same. Why do you like that?
Well-
I love it.
Speaking of your parents, has there ever been like a role where you were kind of like, Mom, Dad, like, please don't watch this movie that I'm about to be in? Or...
God. So many.
Or you shut your eyes.
I played.
Mom.
I don't know. See, there's some movies that like I did this movie called Love Ranch with Joe Pesci and Helen Mirren, directed by Taylor Hackford. You're probably like, what? But like, a great cast. But I played. It was about the Bunny Ranch, the brothel in Vegas. I'm like covering your ears over here. And I played like Joe Pesci's like woman. So that was one that I was like, do not go see that, father.
And did he?
Oh yeah, he was like,
I
it was
have
good.
to see my
It was
girl.
I was like, but I've played a lot of those characters, those women.
I'll talk about Feral and it's on Netflix.
It is on
It is
Netflix.
on
Yeah,
Netflix.
Netflix is on. Ghost House is up there. Which Ghost House, if you guys haven't seen that, we filmed that in Thailand. It was amazing.
I saw
Such
it.
a good cast. And like one of the number one movie in Thailand. It like blew away everything. But I think we're gonna make a sequel over there. That's also
That's
too. It's like if you are ever like wanting to make a film or something, Thailand, Bulgaria, really good locations to make an
Of course,
indie
it's a
film.
great vacation time.
Oh
too.
my god, yeah, and it's cheap. I mean, it's like
Speaking of that, your movies, and you say you're making a movie somewhere far away. Do you treat it, is it a vacation in some way, or are you working all the time?
oh wow.
It's not really a vacation. You don't see the area, or
Yeah, that's what's kind of a bummer is when I do like conventions or something like that, I forget where I've been because I just go into a
Yeah.
room and I don't leave and get to go see everything. So a lot of the places I forget that I've been there, which is
Right.
so sad because I've traveled all the time. But yeah, that it's not a vacation.
or is it a place where you've gone and say it wasn't a vacation, but you want to go back there?
Yeah, I would love
As
to.
a, you know,
I mean, filming locations, Bulgaria. I loved Bulgaria. I would definitely go Thailand.
right?
Oh my god, I would go there anytime. Pad Thai, so good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of places that I would go back to, but there's a lot of places that I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's. Oh, sir.
Yeah. No.
No, where was your favorite place you've ever filmed? Like, was there one that kind of sticks out in your mind, like, just as far as the setting?
I think it was Bulgaria, filming with Chloe Moretz, and when she was like a baby. We did this horror movie called Wicked Little Things. I think it's called something else now. But just like their stages that they had there were so cool. Also, too, I have an interesting story. They don't believe in like pets and stuff like that. So there's like stray dogs everywhere. And that was so sad for me to understand. And I remember one of the moms had gotten hit by a car and the babies were like scattered in the front of my apartment. And I went over to them and they fled except for one.
Mm-hmm.
And I snuck that little dude in my hotel and I took care of him. There were no dogs allowed. And I took care of him. I didn't tell my dad that I had him because we had 2 rooms. Also, too, I was like 16. I was like, I'm an adult. So I had this dog, and they finally, the maid service found him. But production paid for me to take the dog back to LA.
Really?
And he just passed away. But he had a big old life. I mean, he's like a gorgeous dog, like gorgeous, living in Topanga Canyon, eating steaks, and like he was like set. But it's like stuff like that, you know?
What about films with animals in it? And say a horror film and the animal,
Yeah.
you know the animal is not being harmed, but you know.
You know, I've had interesting times working with animals. I mean,
Right.
in Thailand, like they don't like that was really hard for me. They don't really have that aspect of like caring for an animal, and that was I kind of told the director that I could not be around and that they had to stop. And two, something happened with horses where I was doing this Western movie and this horse wasn't hitting its mark. And I'm like, yeah, well, dude, it's like 5 a.m. I'm barely hitting my mark. Like, let's just like chill out, you know? Like, I don't have to ride the horse. I'll be next to the horse. But they were unhappy, so they ran the horse. And it had been like 5 minutes, and finally this horse came back, and it looked like it had been drenched in a pool. And I looked closer, and his nostrils were like, and they ran him to where he was sweating, dripping sweat. And I turned to the director and I said, I will not work with them ever. I was like, we're not working with them. It's not fair.
You ever, you seem like the person that would back talk to a director if something wasn't going like.
Oh my God, that's the best things anyone's ever said to me. Really? Do
You
it?
seem like attitude, like
Do
have
it?
you, like Rob Zombie, for instance.
Shit.
Would you, if there was something,
I
you
wouldn't
would back talk to him, or you would tell him,
I would stand up for what I believed in.
Okay, maybe
for
that's
sure.
the best word.
Yeah, no,
Best
for
word.
sure, I would. Or especially like seeing women like it in a different. I would be like, you know what? I can actually. There was a little of that in Halloween and in the second one where he's like, okay, then you would fall. I'm like, dude, I would not fucking fall. Like, let me get somewhere. Like, let me like this needs to be like a battle. Like, we need to have a battle. There
Right.
needs to be some sort of strength. I'm not gonna like just fall all the time.
Mhm.
I hate that when you're watching movies and it's like, how many times have you fallen and he can't get you? I don't understand. Or like me, it's like I put myself in that scenario. I'm like, I would run as fast. I would become like the Flash in a second. It's like the mom instincts when like your child's like hurt or whatever. Moms get like these superpowers. Like comes out of nowhere, but it's like it's adrenaline.
I take it you'd never been hurt, and like you love stunts.
Oh yeah, I mean I bruise really easily, so it's like I always have marks and stuff. But I love marks.
You're prepared. You're prepared for that when you're going in. Though.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you are, but some stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's you. That's why you always listen. You always listen. You take directions. That's also something I'm teaching my kids now. It's like the most important basic thing is to be able to listen and take direction, whether that's a safety rule or something that they're giving you a note. That is the simplest thing, but it's the most important thing because listening is
So
honestly.
attention to detail is so important.
Mm-hmm.
in this.
Yeah.
That must be really hard as well, like day over day, paying attention to stuff. So.
I think you just get used to it, and then it's second nature.
Mhm.
Well,
Plus, you have so many people, so it's like if like these 50 people don't catch it, then obviously it wasn't supposed to be noticed.
Well, we've got about 10 minutes left, so
Oh.
we've got to get in. Like, if you guys have any questions, this is kind of, you're in the last
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
What do you like doing for down talk? Like just your wits and stuff.
I never asked.
I like yoga.
I'm actually a yoga aficionado myself.
Are you really? Oh, I love yoga. I love fitness. I love sports. I love taking care of kids.
What kind of sports?
I grew up playing baseball, so I love baseball, and I
Oh,
also
Blue Jays.
too. Right. I also was a competitive swimmer, so I grew up in the water. I love that. Like I'm an outdoors girl. As much if I have time, I'll go like to Zion or Yosemite or something. I'll just go camp.
Do you actually love doing yoga outside?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's literally the best. So I don't know. I'm like an outdoorsy person. Like rock climbing. I like to do that kind of stuff. Thank you for asking that. No one's ever asked me that.
Is there any roles that you turned down that you regret in hindsight?
Ooh. Yes. So oh my god, why am I drawing a blank? Ellen Page did it. Candy, hard candy. Yeah, my mom wouldn't allow me to do that. That was the only one that she said no to. And I remember reading that script, and I was like, I want to do this so bad. That and rocket science. I was supposed to do rocket science, but that was my bad. I got in trouble, so I couldn't do that movie. But yeah, there's like a few of them, but definitely like some stuff that I've auditioned for, I've gotten really, really close to that I didn't get, that I was just like, oh my God. Like Twilight, I got really close to, not for Kristen's role, but for something else. But, you know, it's like those ones, I Am Sam, it's just like, oh, you know, but it happens, you know, but you'll hear a lot of no's before you'll hear any yeses. You hear more no's than yeses.
Could you see yourself being a part of a superhero movie?
Yes. I got really close to being on Supergirl, and I was like, you know, it's that transition right now from, I mostly do movies and I love doing TV, but that bracket and that image is so different, you know, so it's like, I've tested for so many CW shows, for Vampire Diaries, for Tomorrow People, for Supergirl. I just tested for Batwoman, didn't get that. But, you know, it's like you test for these things and you're like, oh, I could do this so much. And then they go a different direction and it's just like, oh, it's so hard. Yeah, Batwoman playing Alice, the villain. I was like, oh, I want this. But I didn't get it. But it was cool just to even, like, portray that thing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
This is a good
This is the
panel.
time to do it.
Yeah.
Right now.
You mentioned Stranger Things, one of your favorite shows now. Do you have any others related to?
You know, I'm into cop shows. I love cop shows. So anything like that, or anything on the Food Network. But I'm not a cook either. So, but I love those cooking shows. Or like Flip My House, Fixer Upper. Psh, love those.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Okay, I was just.
I don't know why I laughed.
Asking that.
I don't know
The
why I
reason
laughed.
I'm asking that question.
Why don't you lie? Why are you asking this question over here?
Because-
We should do this in private.
The line at your booth is about to get really long.
If you were in a relationship, I was going to ask, how does your significant other feel like you're busy all the time?
I think
but you're
that's
not
why.
in one,
I think that's
okay?
why I'm not in a relationship. That
Okay.
you know, I was in a very serious relationship for 2 years, and every man that I've been with just cannot understand having to kiss someone or do something physical with someone on screen and realize they just don't comprehend how can you fake being in love with someone. And I can't answer that for a man. I don't know. I've been doing it since I was so young that I'm able to, like, so sometimes, I don't know, insecurities or something. But it's like my work. Gotta
That's
accept
right,
my work,
yeah.
you know?
You're acting, you know,
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, but that I definitely believe in that. Like I mean, as I was younger, it's like marriage and kids and like a partnership is like definitely like my number one thing. For sure, above my career. That's like
I think
family.
that's normal. for
Yeah.
anybody.
Is that a woman thing?
That's a man thing. I think men are more insecure when it comes to
Yeah.
being in a relationship. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Panda, you
totally.
have any-
No, but
I also give advice, love advice, guys. Come to
Oh,
my
yeah.
table.
it's your new column, right?
Yeah,
Ask
yes,
Scout.
yes. And they talk like this. Have you heard of that thing that's happening right now? What is it? Everyone's really obsessed with this.
Another question might be uncomfortable. Scout
What the
Taylor, where
heck?
did you? How did that come about? We know your name.
I actually
is
was
not-
just talking about it. So I actually, my parents are divorced. I lived with my mother until I was like 7, and then my dad got custody of me. So my dad changed it when I was like 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Desiree is, it's pronounced Desiree, but my mom is Spanish. I'm Spanish. She's like, Desirita. So it was like, it never like, so it was changed to Scout when I was really little. So it's always been my name.
Okay, so it's not an acting name.
No.
Some people change their name. Like,
Oh yeah,
Radio
no,
people are
but they
known to
put
do that.
Taylor in there. The agent
Yeah,
put Taylor in there. But I've been trying to get rid of that thing. I'm like, what the heck is that even about?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we know where Scout comes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go,
Oh, yeah.
because we're about to, but shameless plug for yourself. You know, how are people going to follow you? Do you got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? What are we going to
I love my Instagram. So Under the Sea Scout, Little Mermaid reference. She's like, maybe. But yeah, so Under the Sea Scout, and if you DM me there, I try to answer as much and or like comment, and I love Instagram. So Instagram, or my Twitter, which is Pouty Scouty. Yeah, those are my two.
And you're always answering.
Yeah.
Yep. Not like
Oh yeah, I'm on it.
I swear that Donald Trump
I would be on it
doesn't
right
get-
now if I had internet. What, Donald Trump?
I swear Donald Trump doesn't answer his
Oh,
stuff.
I'm sure he does. Have you read those idiot tweets?
So I found out now you're not a fan of Donald Trump.
Who is?
Most Americans really are.
Really? God, it's just like that. Don't even get me started on that. I just cannot believe that is my president. That's
Yeah,
insane.
it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Scout Taylor-Compton,
Yay!
guys.
Thanks, guys.
I know you had a question.
Oh yeah.
Before we went. Or is it okay?
Yeah.
Cool? Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks
What's
for
that?
coming out. Honestly, thank you guys for coming out. We truly appreciate it, and we love meeting you guys. So
We'll see you
this
in
is
your
why
next,
we do these. You know.
We'll see you in your next work.
Yes. Look out for that series. Just wait.
I'm waiting. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.